I recently rewatched Raising Kanan and I have to say, it's a masterclass in storytelling with carefully crafted writing that delves deep into character nuances. The performances from each individual breathes lives into Kanan, Jukebox, the Thomas family as a whole, Unique and many others. There's a symphony of emotions which draws us closer to the characters. The character development is written flawlessly. The addition of intricate layers of humanity into each role adds a sense of realism, and it's just a roller coaster of a show. Season 3 is going to be something else. Now this is something I recently posted on X and I thought it's the perfect way to sum up my favourite show from the Power universe. Sasha Penn, who's the showrunner of Power Book 3, along with the cast, crew, writing team, the dressing department and so on, have nailed the first 2 seasons almost to perfection, and I'm expecting nothing less for Season 3. So with that being said, the latest on the Power streets is that Raising Kanan Season 3's trailer will be releasing on October the 26th. And so in today's video, we're going to be breaking down some storylines, character by character, in regards to what we can expect and what to look for. I've also dug up some old quotes from Sasha Penn post Season 2, where he spoke up a little about Season 3 and gave us some clues, which I do think is the perfect place to start. So much of what she does is motivated by her connection and love for Kanan. For her in Season 3, it's a sort of a reconciliation of all these things. To a certain extent, she was coming to terms with her own fallibility, the mistakes she's made and the choices she's made, and really trying to figure out what all that means. And much of Season 2 was about Kanan and Rock's relationship. At the center of it all was a secret that Rock had kept for Kanan's entire life. According to the streets and from what Kanan knew, Defcon was his father, and she went to great lengths to kind of protect him from that secret, but that was the crux of their issues. Now there have been a few contributing factors along the way, like Dee being killed, Kanan wanting a role in the drug game, but most importantly, manipulating Kanan to kill his father. But now that Kanan knows the truth, they're in for one difficult conversation, which I expect them to pick up in Season 3. Now towards the end we saw Howard and Kanan starting to build a bit of a bond, which stems from Kanan not really having anybody to turn to. But they were on the way to Rock's house to put all the cards on the table, but they were met with an injured Rock with Unique, who came to her rescue, and so that brings me on to their partnership. It's not always uncommon that your greatest rival is also someone that you sort of admire. You always have some measure of respect for your competition. Over the course of these 2 seasons, the chemistry between the actors Patina and Joey has been pretty electric, and I just felt it was a natural progression of their relationship that by the end of the season, they would somewhat have a meeting of the minds, because they are so similar in many respects. She doesn't have a lot of confidence, and on a certain level, Unique does provide that in some ways other characters can't. Now, when he was asked about whether we would see a romance between Unique and Rock, he said I wouldn't rule it out, because who knows, in the finale, Unique sort of presses up on Rock. It does feel romantic, and I think the question is whether that's something that feels reciprocated. Now, the relationship between Unique and Rock hasn't always been the best. In fact, it was the total opposite. They started off as enemies, which was triggered by Kanan and Dee killing Buck 20, and there was a lot of foul play, especially from Rock, who told Howard about his re-up, and then there was the move with his jacket and so on. But the war with Sal Buscemi is something that brought them together after a hell of a lot of bloodshed. So I do think we're going to start Season 3 with them working together. Together Southside is strong, or could there be more between them? Sasha Penn did tease it and it can't be ruled out, so who knows. I think everybody did see a bit of a twinkle in Rock's eyes when Unique did press up on her, so let's see if it does become anything more. Now this brings me on to Rock's humanity. There's a real emotional journey that she has to go on. Something that we're super conscious of is we want to make sure as much of a boss Rock is, and where everybody sort of prefers her that way, she also has humanity. So it is going to be interesting to see them add these layers to Rock's character, because from what we know of and what we've seen, she's cold. I mean, she has shown a loving side when it comes to Kanan, but I do think they can dive deeper with her character, especially because Patina Miller can play the hell out of Rock. Now the war with the Italians did end in a lot of bloodshed, including Uncle Marvin. He took one to the ribs and he had a hell of a journey in Season 2. He was able to tame his anger, work on himself, and patch up his relationship with Jukebox, which did seem like a bit of a long shot after what went down in Season 1. It was also aided by the return of Kenya, who didn't just bring Marvin and Juke together, she came to Rock's house and was caught in the crossfire between the war with the Italian mafia, and so we still need to see the aftermath of Kenya's death and how Jukebox takes the news. Now I really don't suppose Jukebox will be too fazed by her death considering Kenya's treatment, which I think is just one of the many things that will contribute to Juke turning into this cold and ruthless character we saw on Power. But amongst all the heartbreak and pain, Season 3 is teased to give us some happy moments, which really is a rarity in the world of Power. No one starts out their lives the way Kanan and Jukebox ended up in the original Power. There's some real trauma that shapes these 2 characters, and I do think this is a part of that trauma. I think the way Jukebox deals with this and processes it is very much a part of the story that we're trying to tell. It's very, very tough. I will say that in season 3 we definitely are hoping to explore some happiness for Jukebox because it feels like she has taken a lot of losses, but it's all in the game. As we say, it's tough. So it does seem like Jukebox will have some tough moments as well as some happy moments in season 3. Her happy moments could be getting back into music, a relationship with Marvin, and maybe even a new love interest. I mean, the heartbreaks and losses that she's taken since Nicole's death, she's had a lot of sad moments, which I don't think will stop, but it does seem like we will see her having a happy moment or two. Now the other question I'm sure we all have for Juke is, what turned her into becoming a cop? And I do think we've seen a few hints and clues. Now with Uncle Lulu, his character has been at a bit of a crossroad for some time. He's had a run-in with Rock for 2 finales in a row, and both times have ended up with Rock putting Lou in his position. Lou wants out the game, he wants out the life, and he just wants to produce music and enjoy his craft. Unfortunately, we all know there is no leaving, and you can't live a double life. I mean, well, you can try, but we all know it just doesn't end well. So what's the end game for Lou after Rock told him she basically owns him? I think the only way he'll ever be free is if Rock isn't in the picture, and we all know what that means. Now, having said that, Lou is a ride or die for the Thomas family at the same time. Yes, he wants out and he wants to live a different life, but when push comes to shove, he will be there to protect his family at all costs. So let's see what happens because something will have to give at some stage. Now, something I'm looking really forward to seeing in the trailer is a host of new characters, and I'm not expecting to see all of them, but there are 1 or 2 who will have a huge influence in different ways. Wendell Pierce will be playing Ishmael Snaps Henry, and Ronnie Mathis is Unique's older brother. These are 2 characters who I'm really looking forward to seeing for different reasons. For Snaps, he's an OG dealer, a former bank robber who will be acting like a mentor and a financier for up-and-comers like Kanan. So when we talk about Kanan's development as a character, he is going to have a few mentors, and I've got a small section on Breeze in just a moment. But when you think about his journey, he's learned manipulation and lying from his mother. Marvin gave him product to sell on the streets. Ishmael Snaps Henry will be another mentor and will give him more guidance. So there is a lot that Kanan will learn from various characters. So I am intrigued to see them working together, and it just confirms the fact that Kanan will start to do his own thing away from Rock and the Thomases. Now Ronnie Mathis is another who I'm hoping to catch a glimpse of in the trailer. He was someone who was said to be upstate for the rest of his life, but now finds himself on the other side of those prison walls. Now, he's Unique's older brother who bellies shocking ruthlessness. It's not that Ronnie's immoral, it's that he's immoral, conscienceless, unyielding, and vindicative. So when it comes to Ronnie, I think the new partnership between Unique and Rock will be tested. The leadership of Unique's organization will come into question, and he's going to shake up Southside in a big way. Now elsewhere, there are a few other players that will have an influence as well, but those are the 2 I'm personally looking forward to. Now last but not least, Breeze. During Power Book 2 Go Season 3, there was a little tease by Sasha Penn on Instagram where he posted a picture of a Breeze plane. And was he teasing the fact that we're finally going to be introduced to this mystery character? Well, if we are, this is one person I do not expect to see in the trailer on Thursday. If we were introduced to Breeze this season, then I'm sure it's going to be very tight-lipped, and the introduction will be a memorable one, because it won't just be a huge moment for Kanan and Power Book 3, but for the whole Power universe in general. Now in my opinion, do I think we're going to see Breeze in Season 3? I personally think so. We're at that stage where Kanan will start to drift from his mother, and the next stage of his character development is to learn from Breeze. But I think that's something that they will set up for Season 4, where they pretty much leave us on a cliffhanger on Breeze's introduction. So that's a rundown of what we know about Raising Kanan Season 3 so far, based on a few quotes from Sasha Penn, as well as where they've left some storylines at the end of Season 2. So after this video, we're all ready for the trailer for Raising Kanan Season 3. We know where we stand with the main key players, as well as a few new ones. So drop all your thoughts and predictions down below for the trailer. And remember, the premiere for Raising Kanan Season 3 is December the 1st. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.